Hey Greg, do you hear me? Thank you for joining. One moment, I'm just barely getting started here. Thank you all for your patience. Okay, cool. Did you get on your walk yet? How's the weather like in the New York area? New Jersey or New York? I'm not sure. I keep forgetting. That's good, man. I mean, I like hearing that. Sometimes I feel like walking is more important than like doing your physical workouts. 62 degrees and it's raining. Okay. I mean, enjoy the rain before it gets warm in the summertime. I, I I miss New York. I remember back in like 2013, most of the cars were like electric vehicles. At least all the taxi cabs. I wonder how it's like now. I had really good pizza by the Brooklyn Bridge, Cromaldi's. I just remember that and watching Mamma Mia show. It was amazing. Um, that's good, man. Just going out there, getting that fresh air. That's that's the best thing to do, during these times. Okay, well, today, I mean, I wanted to start this live event to see if there's anyone out there that wants to share information. I have a list of stocks that we'll kind of be going through. Um, I'll go ahead and I'll share it in the chat box here. Um, but definitely we'll be covering these stocks here. And hey, Chase, thank you from the UK. What time is it over there? Um, I know you're ahead, where the sun rises on the east and sets on the west. But overall, thank you for joining. Um, Greg, that's good. Just going out there, walking, running, you name it, just getting those steps in. I got my close to 6 miles in the morning, able to get up to 303 miles uh, in the books now for 2021. So I'm hoping to average around 100 miles a month, at least, just to stay on top of things. Okay, well, today we're going to be covering several stock items. Um, Specifically, it'll be items that I'll be sharing. I've shared the tickers in the chat box. And okay, so that's like 10:18 p.m., huh, Chase? Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let me go ahead and change the screen here. Just getting acclimated to this again. Alrighty. Okay, well, I hope you all are able to see my screen here. Hey, thanks again. Gerard is back in business here. You're always here supporting, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, your funny comments. I don't even know if I was even supposed to be posting that karaoke song. But it was funny when you came in and you started rephrasing it. I mean, that's what I tend to do in the shower. I don't know the lyrics to specific songs, but I know the beat and I'll just kind of sing it to what I'm thinking about. So you kind of highlighted that moment. It was funny. Hey, Arayik, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go ahead and take notes of MVIS. MVIS. Okay. Hey, Darren, thank you for joining, buddy. Hey, Nick, thank you for joining. It would be fun to see what skye accomplishes in a year and the price point that it will be at. Definitely, I'm with you on that 100%. And yes, I'm with you as well, Darren. I mean, green is better than red, right? I mean, it was nice to see skye bioscience like end the day in the green market versus it going red. It was like a zigzag today, but overall, it was nice just to see that the share price had gone a different direction. So first off, I'd like to kind of go through the list of stocks here. Um, SIML is the ticker name. It's gaining recognition. People are beginning to find out about this stock. I don't know too much information about this. However, looking at it from a 3-month range, we see it popping up to like the 007 price point. Not even close to a penny yet. But now it's definitely undervalued, and with the volume, it's looking like it can gain some steam here. So I just wanted to share this ticker with you in the OTC pink market. Volume is pretty high at 410 million. SIML. I mean, I've been getting a lot of recommendations to look at this this play here. So take a look at this, do your research, and see where we'll go from there. So next up, before I go back to the list, we will cover Eurojag's ticker here, MVIS. It's my first time hearing about that. So, oh my goodness, microvision. Okay, so we see that it's ramped up by 50% in the market today. It had a heavy day with heavy volume trades going on at 55 million shares. Its 52-week low was in the penny range at around 17 cents, and it's ramped up all the way to $24. I mean, definitely undervalued, and all of a sudden it just popped back up. So today, okay, so it seems like Microvision, they're working with Microsoft, and they won a U.S. Army contract for augmented reality headsets. There you go. That's definitely going to change this from underperform to performing. I mean, even the street saying sell and all of that, but with this kind of news release, I mean, getting a contract from the U.S. Army, that's huge news, MVIS. And the question is, will it continue running up? It may potentially get up to like $25, $30. I mean, I don't know too much about this play, but definitely with some news from having a U.S. Army contract for AR headsets, that's just huge. We look at it from a 5-day range. I mean, it got down to like the low $12, and it's gained close to like 80% already. So thank you for sharing that. Microvision in the NASDAQ market, it's still considered a small cap. It's in the electronic equipment, 2.9 billion. We could potentially see a buyout of this company. That's how I see it. So thank you for sharing that, Ariek. Definitely some movement here, and I will add that to our list after this event's over. So appreciate you sharing that with all of us. Okay, so anyone else have any tickers for us to kind of go through at this time? Okay, so it looks like there's Manir ICT that was also in MVIS. Oh, okay. Well, it's tough. I hear you. Especially when you have your money like funneled in different areas. You know, you can't funnel it in all specific areas. So totally understand with that, man. That's what happened with me with Zomedica too when I wanted to allocate everything over to Skye Bioscience, and then it ran up like a beast. But definitely lessons learned, and you know we'll learn from that. AYRO, yes, definitely. That one's been running. But yeah, let's take a look. AYRO at $6 in the post market. It's running as well. It's gaining consistently. It has light volume close to like 2 million. It was at a low point of like $1.80. Its 52-week range was in the double digits. So the question is, can it run back up, back to like the mid $11 at the time of like mid-February? I mean, we are starting April very soon, so this company can ramp up. I mean, if you park your money here, there's no question that it won't bypass this. So AYRO is a ticker to look out for, and do your research on this company. I mean, it's a commercial, world's largest pure play automotive fleet manager. So to Chase's point, I mean, it's a commercial electric vehicle play that can add huge value. And it looks like there was the CEO Rod Keller presenting the earnings during the earnings call transcript. So take a look at it if you're considering this company. But overall, it's looking solid, and it's undervalued compared to its run. So we see a parabolic shape from like December up through week 1 of February, and then now it's back in the undervalued range. And if you can get it from at the pop, where you sell it at the pop or you keep it long term, then you can gain on positive proceeds on that. Yeah, of course, Tejas. What's going on with HCMC? Okay, so WELF. Yeah, I've been monitoring that one as well. You see some life in that one, Darren. Let me go ahead and pull that one up. Social life. Um, yeah, so this is an OTC play. It's gaining recognition. Heavy volume traded at 176 million. It has a closing price of like 2 cents. It gained up by like 20%. It previously reached all the way up to like mid 3 cents, and now it's climbing back up. It's currently at the low 2s, and there's volume kicking in here. We look at a 1 week tier range here. It established ground at the low 2 cents floor, and now it's popping up. So definitely take a look at this social life network, interactive media and services. So we know that things are up in the cloud now with communication information technology, and whenever there's interactive media services, people are just going to flow into these type of environments, and for those reasons you see the share price going up to like 20% here. Oh, so you're based out in the Netherlands. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. But yeah, Darren is recommending to look at WDLF. So everyone, take a look at this one. In terms of HCMC, we know that there's the lawsuit going on between HCMC and Philip Morris, and I anticipate that there will be some news release on that outcome, and will there be a settlement payout, and potentially HCMC can gain on value by the settlement that'll take place. They are the plaintiff, and I know that they would likely have something against Philip Morris, so let's not underestimate that. We just don't know when that information will come, but it definitely would be coming. To Chase's point, right? I mean, it could be years, the court case. We don't know that until the CEO discloses more information, but I feel you with court cases, it can drag on for a very long time. But if there can be a settlement payout, an expedited process can kick in, and you'll hear information with the speed of light. But if it drags out through court and all that, where it's a pretty significant case with patented technology information being potentially stolen, then that's a different story. You know what I mean? All right, so that's my take with HCMC. So I hope I answered your question, Tejas. All right, so next up, I'm going to jump back to the list that we discussed. I typed it above, so in case you're wondering what we're going to be going through today, we'll be covering the stocks that I've listed above. And if you have any stocks you want to share to the squad here, definitely please add it in, and then we'll look at it as well. All right, so this is Skye Bioscience, okay? Today, the volume trade was fairly light, 500,000 shares. We know that the 52-week range on this company was at like the 3 cents. It's been climbing up to like 13, 14 cents at the high point. We know that the company is getting started, positioning itself for phase 1 clinical trials, and that's estimated to happen in Q3 of this year. And it's exciting because by tomorrow we'll be in the realm of Q2, and based on the timeline that Skye Bioscience has announced, there will be preclinical trials data. The outcome of that will be shared with shareholders and investors. So for example, the neuroprotection data will be announced in Q2, and the preclinical trials data for intraocular pressure reduction will be announced in Q2 as well. So there's 2 major milestone events that will take place in Q2 where data will be shared, and from a share price standpoint, we can potentially start seeing like the 20-30 cents range very soon. So that's my takeaway with Skye Bioscience from my perspective. Hey, what's going on, Jim? Jim Income, thank you for joining. Jim was one of the YouTube subscribers, followers. We've been sharing information because he's a YouTube influencer as well, just making videos on how to make money. So if anyone's interested with how to make money, take a look at Jim Income. He's a pretty cool guy. He's based out in Texas. Definitely a person that I like communicating with because we share information, and it's amazing how much information we can share among one another. So I really appreciate with what Jim is doing. I mean, on like TikTok, he has about 100,000 followers. It's amazing. On YouTube, he has like over 10,000 followers. But we've all started kind of at the same time. He started before me, like months before me, and we were just trying to get monetized by YouTube, right? By first getting our like 1,000 subscribers. But when we compare where we are today compared to where we are now or before, it's definitely a life-changing experience. And you start doing this because it's your purpose, and it gets more interesting because there's more supporters in the audience. And we do this because not only does it add value for everyone, but it really aligns with your own mission and purpose, and it keeps you on top of what you're good at doing. And that's why I do what I do, and I enjoy it. So yeah, Jim, just wanted to give you a shout out there. And sky's the limit. I mean, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but in terms of people in this chat right now, there's a number of people that have Skye Bioscience shares. So this company is based out in San Diego. They're working on a prodrug, bioengineered, working with University of Mississippi, and with their scientific committee. They have an ophthalmologist from Stanford University, ophthalmologist from Mount Sinai. They have professors from Italy, Spain, all part of the core team, and they have experts in the field of cannabinoid research, immunology, physiology, all taking part of developing a robust prodrug using cannabinoids and bioengineering that so that it can work for patients with glaucoma to significantly reduce intraocular pressure. And it shows promising data because it can reduce IOP to the extent where it's comparable to the traditional drug products, because we know like the traditional drug products right now, like Lotanopras, Ropressa, and all that, all made by like large scale companies. It's like putting a band-aid. You're just trying to cover the symptom of just reducing the IOP, but it doesn't do it that effectively, and that's why there's these disruptive companies like Skye Bioscience coming out trying to provide not only reduction in intraocular pressure but also neuroprotective effects. So that is huge when you think in terms of tapping into $1 billion market, how Skye is able to open the eyes in the realm of pharmaceutical science, and how do you leverage cannabinoid research. I mean, we see cannabis being widely used in the food industry. Now we're beginning to see that in the pharmaceutical industry, and one of the biggest validations would be GW Pharmaceuticals getting acquired by Jazz Pharmaceuticals by like $7 billion, and that just validates the need of cannabis research. If Jazz Pharmaceuticals, a large-scale United States pharmaceutical company, buys out a cannabis-related company in UK, then that just tells you there's value to be added, at least in the pharmacy sector. So that's my take, and I firmly believe we will start seeing 20 cents, 30 cents very soon before we break out to the whole dollar share price range with Skye Bioscience. So getting in for cheap and selling for steep is how you win in this market. So that's why I like, getting involved even before you enter the clinical market side of things. Hey, TJS, thanks, bro. Biotoxicology comes out and we fly. Been holding almost a year. Hey, that's I like that optimism. I'm also a holder of iBio as well, and with the new CEO coming on board, it's just looking promising because with Tom Iset, his skills come from like GE Healthcare, and he brought in like several members, board of directors to build on the finance program as well as the clinical side. You have members from like large scale companies, and for iBio to stay at this $1 range, it doesn't sound right? Because the future valuation is going to increase definitely, specifically with what they're working on right now, with all of the preclinical trials work they're doing, as well as their clinical product specific to like the swine flu. They have fibrosis, they have the vaccines going, and the difference is they're using plant-based technology, using the fast farm, and that's what's really going to catapult itself forward, and share price is going to go by like huge 300% gains, at least in Q2, I would say. So that's where we're at with iBio from my perspective. Hey Vincent, thank you for joining. Love following you because we line up with supporting stocks that help the world. I got into ecos from your suggestion. Thanks. Any thoughts on what we might see in Q2? Yeah, well, Ecolocap is a very undervalued company right now. I mean, based out in Illinois at like 0.003, so triple three, right? So if it goes up to 1 cent, you're gonna gain like 310% in positive proceeds right there. I know that when you look at the share price, it's been going up, down, but that bull run will come. I mean, especially with the value that it's adding, especially with advancing just how we look at clean energy, right? Enabling to make the world cleaner. And when you focus on companies that have a solid purpose, the money will start flowing in. That's the new norm of how you are to be investing, not specifically always looking at the financials. I mean, that's always important too, but now, at least for like regulatory health authorities, they do expect companies to have a solid vision and purpose in order to succeed. From a Q2 standpoint, it definitely can ramp up to like 1-2 cents. So you kind of do your research there. In terms of whether you would want to keep it long term, or would you want to like load off like 80% gains at 2 cents and then just buy back in. All right, so Xanador W, thank you for sharing that. Purchased some iBio last week. Plan to purchase more next week. And Skye. Hey, you know, you can't go wrong. I mean, these are some value add companies that's advancing medical unmet needs. And Skye Bioscience, they are huge. I mean, I wouldn't say huge in terms of its share price right now. They're undervalued, but they are gaining exposure. More trust and respect is starting to flow in. And for those reasons, this company share price is going to increase definitely. Daniel, for Inovio Pharmaceuticals, right now, it's just that the bears are taking control of the share price. There's a number of short sales going on right now. But the unique thing is that this company does have 15 products that they're working on. They definitely need to announce the VGX data, and people are becoming very impatient with Inovio Pharmaceuticals. When you look at it, Charles Schwab owns like 15 million shares of INO, so that just tells you something, right? So they're playing that patient game. They have the funds where they have the propensity to just park their money there because they do anticipate Inovio to scale up in its share price. So that's my takeaway. We know that right now with COVID-19 going on, there's a number of different vaccines that's already commercially available, but it's not necessarily approved. It's all just gone through the emergency use authorization. So there will be market share that Inovio Pharmaceuticals can take on. From a share price standpoint, it can catapult up to like the mid 30s. Its prior resistance back in July of 2020. So that's my takeaway, and thank you for asking that question. And I hope I was able to give you an answer. Now the next ticker I wanted to share with you as part of the list that I have generated, and please feel free to continue leaving any tickers you'd like for me to discuss about here. This is tkat, tkat. Now when we look at a 1 month range here, this ticker was like in the not even in the dollar range yet. This was like 77 cents, and within a month, in March at least, it ramped all the way up to like $55. This is related to NFTs, right? This is a small cap company based out in Hong Kong, specifically in the communication service and media and services. They have a market cap size about $1/3 billion. Now, share price is hovering at the $34. Investors do believe that this company has value to be gained, and I would say that it's much cheaper than where it was previously, hovering at the $74 range. So it's dropped by like nearly half of that price, if not more than that, like 55-60%. So let's say if you want to take a play on this, you know, it's definitely a better than getting in at the high point. Let's say if you were to buy like at $70, although that $70 is not too far out of a stretch. So definitely a ticker to monitor. Now, next ticker I wanted to share with you is a ticker that I'm actually positioned in, and this is Single Point. They actually had a reverse stock split recently. In fact, early Monday it dropped down to like 50 cents. I wish I had funds where I can just buy at 50 cents, and then within like 2 or 3 days it catapulted to 220. Looking at a 6-month range though, I mean, it did pop up to like the $5.50, close to $6, and it's been just on a downward trend. However, after the reverse split, it dropped significantly, but now it's pulling back up, gaining on a huge market share. And I definitely feel like this is the next SunPower, Ideal Power type of solar play that you can benefit from. I mean, yesterday it ramped up by like 15%. The day before that it ramped up another 40-50%, and today it's ramped up 31%. So we know that the volume has been heavy, at least for today. And then they're also providing like a 7 cents dividend payout with its reverse stock split. So this is looking promising when you look at their financials year over year. I mean, they're definitely gaining on revenue. 197% revenue increase from Q3 2019 to Q3 2020. So something to make sure you monitor, because definitely it's a value add play from my perspective. It can run up to like double-digit share price, at least in Q2, up to like $10 to $15. That's my takeaway with SINGD. Okay, next ticker I wanted to share with you is Hall of Fame Resort, and the current share price right now in the aftermarket is like $4.93. We look at a 3-month range. I mean, this was hovering like at a $1, and then it ramped up to like $12. So it's been running in the time of March timeframe. However, now it's been on a downward trend. I mean, I would continue monitoring this company. I wouldn't necessarily buy in yet, but let's say if you continue to see a drop off, or it's dropped off at least at a minimum 60% with 2 weeks pushing out, then you can take a position in this company, possibly like at around the $3 potentially, $4.50. That'll be much better than the current price at $4.93. That's my take on this company with hofv in the NASDAQ market. Next ticker I wanted to share with you is coin ctl. Today it dropped by like 10%. However, when we're looking at a 3-month range, it did pop up to like the 4-cent range. It's getting close to rounding up to 1 cent. Today it dropped by like 10%. It has a huge volume here, at least above average, where it has like 54 million shares traded. This was in the 0001. It popped up to 4 cents. So we know that this cctl ticker has some bull run in it. Back in mid-February, it ran up to 4 cents. Now that we're going to start positioning ourselves in April, the question is, can it run back up? That will be up for us to monitor. But I would continue to monitor, and let's say if you have faith in this company, once you do your research, try to see what's the likelihood for it to pop back up to 4 cents and beyond that. All right, so I've been doing most of the talking on the stocks that I've listed here. Do any of you have any specific stocks that you'd like for me to go through at this time? Yeah, you can just leave it in the chat below, and yeah, I appreciate all of you just coming in and joining and listening through on this. So I really appreciate it. All right, so while we expect to see others just sharing some tickers, definitely INND. Yeah, today INND, there was news released post the presentation. So Matthew Moore, he presented today at the Emerging Growth Conference, and a lot of people thought that it was a great presentation, while some didn't think it was a great presentation. But one of the good things about INND is the fact that there's definitely an investment opportunity right now. So let's say if you were to like invest $1 million into INND, there will be a common stock buyback where you will gain 300%. So let's say if you invest $1 million, in return you'll get a return on investment of 300%, at least on INND. So that's just promising news, so that it can help out the marketing campaign, the kiosk rollout, and just the scalability of this company, because Matthew's beginning to see a long-term approach play with this company. So they're trying to gather more funds from shareholders, and then as a common stock payback, it'll be a 300% guarantee back to the investor. So that's just huge news. Today it dropped by 18%, but we know that yesterday it ran up by like 15%, and the day before that it ran up by like 40-50%. So no worries there. It's just shaking out a few retailers, but it did run up to like 7 cents before, and I do feel like INND is definitely going to continue running. So that's my perspective, and just holding this long term, because I do feel like by Q3 this ticker can run up to like 50 cents. All right, so Darren, hi Danny. Do you study medical journals and medical releases to find your pharma plays? That's a very good question. I'm all over you know, like medical journals and medical releases. You know, I'm all over like FDA news. FDA stands for the Food and Drug Administration. So like, if there's any new products that get approved or cleared by the U.S. Health Authority, or if there's any like recalls, I see all of that information because I do get automatic notifications from the Food and Drug Administration, and once I see that information, I try to put it into the context of finance, and if it can add value, that's when I monitor and I start researching the company. So definitely, I mean, I do study medical journals and medical releases, and that ultimately comes down to just my experience working in the medical field and like medical devices. That's why I have a high interest in these type of companies. Hey, Scott Chambers, I didn't see that play, so thank you for providing one. AABB. Yeah, definitely AABB is part of the list that we'll be discussing. But yeah, since you brought it up, I will share that with you all. Hey, Noose, the man, the myth, the legend, Danny, quack, quack. INNDAZFL, skye, BLSP, GAXY. So everyone take a look at what Noose is sharing there. Those are some value add hidden gem plays that you definitely can capitalize on. So thank you for joining all, and yeah, you know, you can also, you know, sign up too, like with like any like recalls, corrections from the FDA website. Whenever there's recalls, you know, there's like bad things going on with companies, right? So share price can be reflective in terms of it going down. But you can also like get notifications for new product approvals. When I say product approval, that's when like products get approved post phase 3 of clinical trials. That's when you can legally commercialize your product for interstate sale around the United States, at least in our Northern America territory. So yeah, definitely. Thank you for that question. I appreciate it. So next up, okay, so we'll take a look at ASTI here, Ascent Solar Technologies. Definitely a strong company to consider investing in. This is a small cap company in the OTC market. ASTI is the ticker. They're focused more on the semiconductors, aerospace equipment arena. They have this thin film solar panel that they're working on. Not your typical solar panel producer for like solar roofs or anything like that. This is more for like the aerospace sector. The share price did reach up to like 7 cents back in like mid-February, and now it's been just creating a floor at like the 3 to 4 cents. Today it's gone up by 5 cents, but from my perspective, this ticker right here, I mean, when you eliminate the noisy data with these peaks, and if you do like a rolling average, 50-day rolling average, 200-day rolling average, this company is trending in the right direction here. So from a long-term perspective, if you're trying to hold long-term with this company, you will be thankful getting at a lower share price, because this company is going to continue running. Why? You look at the CEO's history, his profile. This guy has so much experience in Singapore, and the fact that this company has 70 patents, and the fact that like Times, Fortune 100, and all that have like recognized Ascent Solar Technologies for the work that they're doing, that just tells you that future valuation is there. It's just a matter of time for when this company will break out. It's not a matter of if, but when. So that's how I see it with Ascent Solar Technologies. And if you look back 3-month range, back in April, it was at 30 cents. So that's where we have it. And wow, thank you for sharing that, Alex. You in the London area. That's amazing. I don't know anyone from London, but at least now I know that there's you, Alex, in London. So thank you for sharing that. 11 p.m. So it seems like it's getting fairly dark around the European areas right now. Okay, so PPJE is the next one, and that's with T-Juice's information that he's sharing here. So PPJE. Okay, so PPJ Healthcare Enterprises. Okay, so right now it's in the 004. It was previously in the zeros, ramped up to 1 cent, rounded off, and now it's at 004. It has like around 30 million shares traded here, going back to like a 3-month range. This one ramped up to like 1 cent here, as you can see, and it's been just on a downward trend. So definitely undervalued, and I would take a look at what this company can provide. What's so unique about this company? As you can see here, back in the 25th, it announces new medical billing client. So that's huge. That just shows that it's going to grow. So definitely something to consider if you're trying to gain on future valuation with this company. You look at a 1-year range, even though it popped up, it's been down, but if you cancel out the noisy data, it's trending in the right direction with this upward motion. So thank you for sharing. PPJE. Okay, so there's two Londoners doing our bit for global relations. Yeah, this is all about sharing information, you know what I mean? It's great for us to be able to like connect. I mean, this is a global market now where we can just find information on Google, and then just we can communicate that with the speed of light now. I mean, now that you're just sharing it from like many miles away, we all can just type it in the internet, search it up, and see if it's a value add play. That's just the beauty behind the world and the internet right now. All right, so it's great that you all are connecting to Alex and Darren. You know, perhaps you guys might be neighbors in the London area. Who knows? All right, next ticker I'm going to go ahead and pull up is AYTU. Okay, this is a pharmaceutical company, specifically in the NASDAQ market. This hovered at around $5, 52-week range, and it ramped up to $21. As you can see, it's definitely undervalued at this time, right? Because we know that it ramped up to like $21. It's basically lost like more than half of its share price value. But we have to really try to understand why it's been on the downward trend. Is there a risk involved? What's going on? Has there been any delays with its potential products? So have to take a look at all of that. But you know, what goes down will come up, and looking at it from a 3-year range, I mean, this share price was like around the $80-90, and now it's in the single digits. So if you have the propensity to just hold, this is a company ticker that can definitely add value in the long run. For its percentage held by institutions, 28% is fairly high. So I would recommend just looking at this play to see if it's undervalued, right? Because we want to look for undervalued plays and see if it can add value with long-term investing. Next ticker I wanted to share with you is TIDE, Tidelands Oil and Gas Corporation. Let me go ahead and look at a zoomed in view here. I mean, just out of nowhere, mid-February, it just spiked all the way up to mid 1 cent, and now it's on a downward trend for like several weeks now. The question is, can it ramp back up? It's quite possible, so I would just continue monitoring TIDE. Okay, hope that helps. Next ticker I wanted to bring up is Bionanogenomics. Today it ramped up by like 4.66%. It was previously climbing back in like mid-February, as you can see, right? It went over the $15 range. However, it's been like kind of on a downward trend, similar to like Zomedica. But I personally feel like it can start bull running back up and bypassing the $15. So if you have conviction in genomics, bngo is a small cap company in the NASDAQ territory that can definitely ramp up. So it's establishing ground now, and um, with the shares being traded at 24 million, that's looking huge. So just wanted to reiterate the potential of gaining on opportunities with capitalizing on positive proceeds with bngo. So that's my takeaway. NOVN, that sounds very familiar, but let me pull that up. Okay, so NOVN, thanks to Darren here. Okay, so this is a company in the NASDAQ market. It's a pharmaceutical company. It ramped up to like 250, and then now it's establishing ground at the 150. The fact that it's dropped by like more than $1, definitely undervalued. It has like 10% held by institutions. It's in a neutral state, and it has above volume trading at this time at 4.4 million. Today it's dropped by like 3%, including in the aftermarket, but definitely in the right direction. It's trending upward, right? If you cancel out this noisy data, if you do a rolling average, if you add a regression line, then this is definitely trending upward. So good for long-term investing, I would say, Darren. So thank you for sharing that with NOVAN. All right, next ticker is so tdsgf. So this is another company that's in the genomic sector, specifically in OTC, based out in Canada. It's a small cap company. Previously it ramped up close to like 80-90 cents. Actually it ramped up to $1.14 at one point in time, and then now it's on a downward trend. I definitely feel like it's undervalued, and the V-shape, U-shape will be coming, and that's from my perspective that this company is undervalued, and you can definitely capitalize on this. The only downside is there's not too much volume that we're seeing right now, only at 4,448 shares traded. So that's something to look at as well. All right, so next one I wanted to share with you all. Continue to add more tickers, more shares for us to look at, all right? Because we're all here trying to share information. So if you have any insights, feel free to leave it in the chat box. And if you're new, you just joined on this live event, thank you for joining. And if you've been watching, I appreciate your time. Hi KH, definitely. I mean, I'm actually a holder of iBio as well. Just playing that patient game will help you gain, because let's say if you sell and then FOMO kicks in, that's the downside. But you know, there's many stocks out there too that can add value. So you know, I wouldn't put like all eggs in one basket, especially like with the iBio play. So when do I think bio stocks are going to be bullish again? I mean, it all depends, right? I mean, it's different for all bio stocks. You know, you just definitely have to find bio stocks that are undervalued, and you want to get in when no one is talking about it, right? Because when you get in when no one's talking about it, your cost average is going to be much lower, a hidden gem play. But when you get in like posts when everyone knows about it, that's when Wall Street already knows about it. That's when the capitalization, the wealth increase on future valuation starts to become limited. So that's my take. I mean, there's many bio stocks out there. You just have to find the hidden gems, because there's always bio stocks that are ramping up, that's flying right now, because the FDA never stops with their process for approving products. I mean, there's constantly bio products being approved as we speak every day. But when you look at the top layer bio stocks, you know, like the large scale companies like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, you won't see much runs there. So I hope that answers your question. All right, so now we're looking at Minerco. Okay, so this is a company in the beverage sector, in the OTC arena. As you can see, volume is pretty heavy here. It did ramp up to like 1 cent in the week 1, week 2 of February, and it's been on a downward trend. So basically what I've been sharing with you are these stocks that have been ramping up, at least in the OTC market. Most of these stocks have like catapulted vertically up, and we've seen most OTCs kind of taking a downward trend, bleeding out with its valuation. However, what goes down must come up. So you know, we shall start seeing increases in the OTC market. So that's why I'm just holding my OTC plays for the long term, because I have high conviction that companies in the OTC market, if they don't go out of business, they will gain on positive proceeds. So definitely a company to look at. Mine is the ticker name. All right, so I will continue on, but let's say if you have any other tickers, we will address them and kind of go through them. All right, next ticker is Relief Therapeutics, rlftf in the OTC market. 52-week range was in the 1 cent range, and then it ramped all the way up to like 95 cents from a high point. Okay, so that just tells you that this company has done so well with its share price. As you can see, July, it was like in the single digits, and then July, October, January, it's been up in the double digit share price range, and it has data from its phase 2-3 clinical trial of intravenous Relief 100. I believe that's like a tablet form that they take. So there's news here with its product. Relief and Acer Therapeutics signed collaboration and license agreement for worldwide development and commercialization of Acer 1 for the treatment of UCDs, MSUD, Acer to receive 10 million cash payment. So definitely undervalued, and we see that the share price back when it was in February, it was like 65 cents, and now it's lost by like half of that already. So definitely a play to consider. Okay, so that's Relief Therapeutics. Next up, I will share is moxc. Moxian. All right, so this is in the NASDAQ market today. Surprisingly, it gained by 17%. Closed out at 453. 52-week low was 52 cents. Ramped all the way up to 470 for its 52-week high. So it's close to its 52-week high point. The question is, will it continue running up? We don't know that, but looking more out from a zoomed out perspective, 3 years range, this at one point was like close to $15, so it has room to gain another 200% from my perspective. So this is based out in China, but one thing to keep in mind is failed to meet NASDAQ continued listing requirements, because I know from a minimum requirement you have to have a share price of above $4. So at least here we see it maintaining that $4 at least by today. The question is, can it continue that maintenance of sustaining that $4 range all the way up through the year? That's very important. So that's my takeaway with moxc. Next up I wanted to share with you is igex. Okay, in the OTC market, this is at double one right now, Indo Global Exchanges. Heavy volume, as you can see, 462 million shares being traded at this time. Today it ramped up by 22%, so congratulations to whoever had taken ownership of this company. But looking at a 6-month range, we do see an increase up into like the close to 0.002. However, now it's at 0.001. Question is, can it break the 2 cent range? It's in the right flow path right now, trending in the right direction, and its prior resistance about a year ago in July was about 0.001. So this company can add value. It's in the financials, capital markets, based out in Indonesia. Okay, so that is IGEX. Next up is a ticker to not ignore. 88 Energy Ltd in the OTC pink market, based out in Australia. It had 1 billion heavy trading today, gained 57% today, now closing at 7 cents. As you can see, the company has been bull running, at least for today. Actually, the whole month of March it's been just running. I mean, its 52-week low was at 0.001, and it's ramped all the way up to like 20 cents, but now it's at the 7-cent range. So huge upside with this company, EEENF. So I just wanted to share that with you. In terms of what they do, as you look here, 88 Energy to drill Alaska well in the first week of March. So they are in the oil space sector, trying to do things, activities, at least in the Alaska market. Alright, so next up I wanted to share with you is uatg. Been hearing a lot of good upside with this company as well. In the aerospace and defense, Umbra Applied Technologies, today it ramped up by like 8-9%. It was in the 0005, and now it's definitely gained up to like the 2 cents, so it's been running huge. As you can see, the company acquires H2O processing, acquires 20% of Next Casting Technologies, completes bid to acquire orthopedic implant company, 10% stake in Baxter Scientific, and UAT Group subsidiary and strategic partner announced first in-home COVID-19 test delivering accurate results in minutes. So the question is, can this company ramp up to 10 cents by Q2? That is very possible, and that's with UATG. Next up, AABB, Asia Broadband. So I believe we touched on this earlier, but as you can see, it's on a downward trend at like 21 cents. It previously ramped up to 50 cents. So definitely undervalued if you want to take a stake on this company, but I do see potential U-shape, V-shape for this company. So a company not to ignore, and that's Asia Broadband. Okay, I had Morningstar in here, but I don't think that was what I was trying to pull up. CBD of Denver's the next play here. So CBDD in the OTC market, currently at like high 1 cent range. Previously was 0003, and it ramped up to 3 cents. So that's huge gains. It's creating a floor at like 1 cent, 2 cents. But one of the interesting things is there's news that released yesterday that CBDD becomes one of the first CBD companies to accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So that's huge. Just hearing that kind of information. So Taufix APYP heard merge with SleepX potential. Thank you for sharing that. APYP. Yeah, Davmax, thank you for sharing that. You know, Inovio, they did have a good green day today, and we just hope that, you know, it continues that forward-looking path moving forward. So thank you for that insight there. So we're looking at APYP Incorporation. Today it dropped by like 4%. Its 52-week high was 008. Currently undervalued at 002. It has like 56 million volume. So a company that is known out in the trading environment, and if there's the merger that takes place with SleepX, definitely it can ramp up to a 5 cent potential from my perspective, Taufik. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, one moment. Okay, so next up we are looking at is tlry. This is a company based out in Canada, pharmaceuticals company. They're traded on the NASDAQ market. I'm just eating a strawberry, getting a little hungry here. Its 52-week range was in the $67. So definitely undervalued. It can gain by 200%. And there's discussions about how tlry stock can rebound following New York legalization of cannabis use. So that will be huge news that can take place. Because New York Governor Cuomo, he signed legislation legalizing adult use cannabis. So that's huge. So that leads me to think, how's Africa doing? So Africa today is gaining, I mean, just in the cannabis sector. I was recommending this at like $4 back in October, November. That's a 4 or 5x gain of your investment. So definitely opportunity in the cannabis sector. SNDL is another cannabis play that can definitely get into like the $5 range by this year. I mean, I was recommending this at 40 cents. It went all the way up to like $2. But definitely has more room to grow from my assessment of this company. So just pay close attention to this play because it can add value. iBio is a biotech company out in Texas. This company ramped all the way up to like $7 at one point. And then the bears came in and shorted this company, and then it dropped down. You see this huge downward decline here. But the question is, when will it pop back up? It's not if, it's when. Okay, HEXO. Let's take a look. So it's definitely trending in the right direction right now. It reminds me of Skye Biosciences trend line. But it's looking good. You see that it's gaining in share price value, which is a good thing. Since November, right? You see like the stairway climbs. So is this a cannabis related play, DABMAX, HEXO Corp? Because I see here it says like cannabis stocks higher after New York legalizes recreational use. So I'm just wondering if there's any impact there with the share price. Does anyone else have any other tickers to share? Any high conviction plays? Yeah, eating pineapple, strawberries, oranges, apples right now. Okay, so GAXY, an OTC play, gained by 6% today. It's in the electronic instruments and components sector. So now they've partnered up with a marketing firm with decades of experience in U.S. education market. This company has potential to grow in its share price. I mean, it's definitely taking a downward trend hit here, but it's gone from like 002 to like 28 cents at one point. Palantir, PLTR, yeah, let's take a look. Okay, PLTR. Wow, it's been running today. I mean, this company is definitely going to run back up. I mean, given that it was a $45 share price stock at one point, it will run up. It has solid financials. So it definitely will pop back up. We're seeing the pop-up occur now that it's at the low point, but it's definitely going to start ramping back up. PLTR, I would definitely say. So NEO is a company to invest in. I recommended NEO to like my dad at $4 per share. I do see the facility in Santa Clara. They have a building for NEO, pretty big, but there's no cars there right now because of COVID. But definitely going to start scaling up, I would say. And they have 35% held of institutions, so that's close to 40%. Yeah, thank you, Topics Hemp. I've been monitoring that one as well. Definitely a value at play, knowing that New York had just legalized the recreational use. So that's huge. Huge news. So today it ran up by 3%. Let's look at a 6-month trend chart. It ramped all the way up to like 2 cents. Now it's at the 1 cent. But it was at 003. Wow. So it's been on a downward path, but these companies are going to V-shape up. So I would not ignore these potential plays that can add huge positive proceeds to your investment strategy. So thank you for sharing that, topics. You'll make a lot of people money with that play. SQ. Are you referring to this one? Okay, so it's a large cap company in the IT service realm. Today it's gone up by 7%. This company looks well established and it's trending in the right direction. I mean, previously close to like 290. If you can get at 227, definitely a play that can add value. So that's my takeaway with this company. And it's trading higher after Keefe, Bruyette, and Woods upgraded the stock from market perform to outperform and announced a $250 price target. I mean, that's very easy, right? I mean, another $25 would hit easily, but I would say it'll probably get up to like the 280, 290 target range. So thank you for sharing that. Any other stocks you want to look at? Let me go ahead and pull up Inovio Pharmaceuticals here. Today went up by 5%, which is good. I mean, we look at July timeframe, it ramped up to mid $35, and now it's at the single digit share price. Question is, can it break out to the double digit share price range again? I say yes. So definitely undervalued, and it will come. That time will come for INO. Oh, the ARC fund from Kathy Wood. Yeah, she's always looking for those highly innovative companies, and if it's in her profile, you'll have like a third of investors following that path as well, because there's so much trust and respect instilled in Kathy Woods. People really believe in how she invests, and that's how you make money, right? I mean, would you rather follow Kathy Wood, or would you rather follow Warren Buffett style, right? The traditional way or the disruptive way to make money. I mean, one way is secure and safe, while the other play can help you get to the double commas much more fast. Yes, so JAGX is something not to ignore. A lot of people have been talking about this ticker. Jaguar Health. So today, 3% gain, and then the post market 7%, so 11%. So it's almost ramping up to $2. Can it break the $4 range? Yes, they can. Yeah, she loves Tesla. So that's good. I mean, they're trading higher because after the company reported fiscal year 20 million sales of 20.5 million, up 146% year over year. So Jaguar Health, I mean, whenever you have financials looking good for a small cap company in healthcare, specifically in the pharmaceutical sector, the market capitalization will start catapulting from that point on. Alright, so that sums it up. I actually have class at 4 p.m. I'm going to have to be presenting with my team for a management information technology class. I have to discuss about our business plan for how we improve SAPs. It's a case analysis. We created our Google Slides. We just have to present it to the professor. I got like several more classes to go to finish up my master's. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you all for joining today's live session, and I really appreciate everything that you do, and thank you so much for all of your participation and sharing of information. We all can benefit from this, so thank you for everything you do, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and let me know if you have any feedback on how I can improve, whether I should set up a schedule. Would that help, for you to join in? Because I randomly kind of just make these live events, and it might just be better to schedule, and then we all can, join at the same time, and definitely will have time for us to kind of think of any questions beforehand, rather than me just setting up a live event. Yeah, thank you, Greg, for JAGX. I mean, definitely a value add play. I mean, you see in the post market it's running here, and thank you for everything that you do, Greg. I mean, I really appreciate you. I mean, you're a strong supporter, so thank you. So with all of that said, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching another live event here at All I See Is W. Goodbye.